Welcome to FaceTime. I have brain freeze. Today I have a guest. His name is Jordan VanDina, and he has a movie called The Binge out on YouTube, and it's really good. And I am interviewing him in a minute here. And the movie's about drinking, and I like drinking, and I'm drinking right now. And I think that you should watch the movie on Hulu before you listen to this, because there are spoilers. But if you're the type that doesn't give a fuck about spoilers, then just keep watching. Wow, I chugged a White Claw. And for FaceTime, I got an Instagram at FaceTime. Got a YouTube channel. Check it all out. Rate and review on Apple Podcasts. I'm gonna give Jordan a call.
Hello?
Yo.
What's up, man? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. When's the last time I saw you?
Oh, I couldn't even think about it. So it's got to be 4 minutes ago, at least.
Yeah.
We did that sound check.
Right. Yeah. It seems like yesterday.
I mean, it's every time I see it's such a pleasure. I mean, what a time we have together, right?
I like that we both have some sort of collage framed photos behind us, but it seems like you have much more artistry than I do.
No, this is where my fiance makes me keep all my nonsense. There's me as a Ninja Turtle, Strangers with Candy, Batman and Robin, all the nonsense I can't keep in the rest of the house.
Oh, she doesn't let you put it just in the living room or something?
I have one space, and then this is where all my toys live.
Whoa.
Yeah, a lot of cartoon stuff. It's embarrassing. I'm 32.
Actually, speaking of cartoon stuff, I didn't get to look at it because I was doing a lot of research on movie stuff, on stuff for the screen. But something that you had on there was on your resume. There was what the fuck is it? Animaniacs.
Animaniacs, yes.
What was that?
I'm in the middle. So they're rebooting that for Hulu, and we started writing in 2018, and it's coming out in November. So it's a reboot. Spielberg's involved. It's very fun.
What?
Yep.
And
animated. It's crazy. Animated. Pinky and the Brain are coming back, and Spielberg, he reads all the outlines, the scripts. He's very involved, way more than you'd expect. So that's why he's the best, I guess. Yeah, it's crazy.
Are you in a big room of writers, or how does a show like that work now for not a network but for Hulu?
There's 8 of us, which I think is pretty small compared to other animated shows. And then we all pitch ideas. The showrunner, Wellesley Wild, who made the Ted movies, he goes through them, picks the ideas, and then whoever pitched it usually writes it. Then as a room, we'll punch it up, or sometimes it doesn't need punching up. And they're little segments, so the episodes are cut down to 3-4 segments.
Oh, okay. But they're going to be like 25-minute format, right?
Yeah, it'll be a full episode broken down into 3 parts, like the original.
Were you a fan of the original Animaniacs?
Oh yeah, I loved it as a kid. I mean, it was on when I was 8 or 9, so yeah, perfect timing for me.
Yeah, same here. Are you? I'm 30. I'll be 33 soon. Are you around there?
32 in April, so we're close.
Yeah. I remember watching that, and actually, you know what? I remember watching it, but I don't remember details really at all. The only thing I really remember was all the states and capitals by
great tune.
I don't even remember his name.
Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, but Yakko did the state capitals.
Yeah. Okay, then that's the one. I remember memorizing that and getting, you're told when I think it was like 5th grade or something, and then when you're told, like just good job by a teacher, but they mean it. That's
and it means a lot.
And it means a lot, and I kind of carry that with me today, and I always think of Animaniacs just for that.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I can contribute to some part of your history. But I had a 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Wind, who when you got 100 on a test, she would dance on a desk, and she was sort of overweight, and one time she slipped off the desk. She broke her leg and was out the rest of the year. This was like in January, and we had a sub for the rest of the year. I'll never forget it. Yep. Mrs. Wind.
Was it a visual break? Like, did you see a...
I remember everyone screaming, but I don't remember seeing like a bone pop out. But it was horrific. I do remember that.
Oh my God.
And she had to get wheeled off. It was a scary moment, but poor Mrs. Wind tried to do something nice, slipped right off the desk.
Do you think when she came back, she was still doing that?
I think she probably retired on that day from dancing on the desk. She maybe never came back to teaching at all. I don't know. I never checked in.
Holy shit. That's horrible.
Yep.
But so as I was watching, by the way, I watched the movie.
Oh, thank you.
I love the movie. I'm glad
those streams up.
What's that?
We got to get those streams up. So yeah, watch it. Keep it on loop all day if you could.
I did. I went back today and just kind of like let it play. But I was,
Great.
I was doing stuff, but I was like kind of watching it again. So I was also, I'm also very thankful that we did this after I seen the movie, because now I have so many more questions.
I'm ready for all of them. I'm an open book.
And well, first off, how's it going with is this your first movie that you've had come out?
Yes, this is the first movie I've written that's come out. Yep.
And how fucking rad is it that you're like, wow, the first thing I did co-stars Vince Vaughn?
It's it's incredible. I never would have thought that would be the case, but I mean, he's in all my favorite comedies: Wedding Crashers, Old School, Anchorman. He's in so many great comedies, so it's amazing.
Did okay, so I saw some photos and it looked like you were on set a lot.
Yeah, I mean, this scenario, I think, especially for my first movie, was crazy and such a strike of luck because Jeremy Garlick, the director, bought a high school in Syracuse to make high school movies. So he wants to make a bunch of high school movies for Hulu,
awesome.
And they've done a bunch already. But he's like insanely collaborative. So when they bought the script, he was like, just come live with me. He bought a house right by the school. So I went out there a month before we started shooting, and you're in Syracuse, so it feels like a summer camp. Vince Vaughn came out, and every day, he only really had my number, and Jeremy was busy, so he'd be like, let's go get lunch, let's go see a movie, let's hang out. Like, he doesn't know anyone in Syracuse, so like everyone's just hanging out with each other. I was getting calls from him. I mean, it was a blast. It was, and he never was like, all right, I want to leave set and go back to the hotel. He's like, let's all just hang out. I want to like talk and be with the cast and the writers. It was the best. Best experience.
In the spirit of the movie, of it being like a party movie, did you get to party with him at all? Is he still like that? Does he have that swingers vibe in him anymore?
He doesn't party really. Like I never really saw him drinking or anything, but he doesn't get tired. Like we would stay in the hotel and he was just like telling everyone Wedding Crashers and swingers stories until like the sun came up after shooting all day. And it was like he just wants to hang out. It was the coolest experience ever. Crazy.
I guess I prejudged him because I always saw Vince Vaughn as somebody who definitely has those experiences, but he's very he's in my head. I just made this up. I get this from nowhere.
Yep.
That he wouldn't want to tell you all these stories. I
thought the same thing. I mean, every celebrity I've ever met, well, I haven't met that many, but normally they're not like that open with stuff. But he's like, he wants to talk about it. And he's like, when we did this is why this got better. And it was all in the spirit of like, how do we make this movie the best it could be? And obviously his improvs are crazy and awesome. And he improved a lot, which is good for the movie.
I noticed that I actually took a note of one thing in the very beginning when he's talking to the entire class, like that, the senior class, and everyone's applauding, and he goes like this to have everyone shut up. I was like, is that written, or did he just do that? Is that from Whiplash? Like, what is that?
That is all improv. So the first time I met him was the day before we shot that scene. We went to his hotel and he just stood up and started like improvising as the character, and like I was just typing down everything he was saying, and I was just like, can you please say this instead? This is whatever I had is nonsense compared to what you just had.
Holy shit.
The burn victim stuff, that was all him. The Fanta stuff, just all that whole run is just an insane version of what's going on in his head.
Oh wow. That's just kind of like there was a line in Phantom Thread that they were talking about Daniel DayLewis, and they were saying that this line was, he was working and the girl comes in and sort of says, hey, do you want some lunch? And he's like, don't interrupt me. And he's like, I'm sorry. And he's like, you get to leave. The interruption stays with me even after you leave. And
Wow.
I guess that was just like improv. And he basically, Paul Thomas Anderson was saying that when you get certain talent, you just get these beautiful improvs that they do.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, that locker room scene that Vince walks in the locker room, there's a 47-minute version of that where he kept leaving the locker room, coming back in to like mess with Hags and Griffin, and he just like kept taunting them. We got to release it somewhere because it's incredible.
Wow, that's
so
actually because I did not expect him to come back in. Wait, can we? I guess why don't we can we do spoilers? Let's just assume people have seen it.
The movie's out. The world has seen it.
Okay.
100% of the world. So yeah, spoil anything.
All right, so I'm gonna in my intro that I do, which I do after the interview normally.
Okay.
I'll just let everyone know there's spoilers. So,
Great.
spoiler alert here. So he comes back and gets the wristband. I didn't expect that to happen.
That was in the script, but the fact that he just kept leaving and coming back was all him.
That's great. So actually, in the spirit, so you're in LA. I'm in New York, so it's a little later for me. So I'm gonna open a drink.
Oh,
I've got a White Claw.
I've been drinking Bud Light seltzers. I would have cracked one, but I've got this Tommy Bahama glass with water, so that's pretty close.
Yeah,
we could say it's vodka.
Wait, do another take, but say it's vodka. Ready? I got this drink.
Okay.
What about you? Do you have something to drink?
I'm drinking vodka out of a Tommy Bahama glass.
At
Living
11
the dream.
a.m.
I'm the king. I'm the king of Hollywood.
Hell
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, it's great. This is good stuff. So it's it's something I started to notice a lot of different. There's a lot of really good young talent in the movie. Were you a part of casting any of these people? Is it did you have any say in it? Like, how does that process go with your crew that you had?
Yeah. I mean, again, unlike most situations, I would never either even be on set or be around it. Right. But I was there a month and a half before we started shooting in pre-production, so I was with Jeremy every day, watching every casting tape and weighing in. I mean, ultimately Jeremy had the say, but yeah, I'd like to think my opinion mattered, and I think we got a solid cast. But who knows? Yeah, I mean, I think I had something to do with it.
Yeah, you know who I was actually really surprised to not surprised, I was stoked to see. I was super stoked to see Marta. I forget her last name, but Marta. She's Marta the Martian on Instagram.
Yes. Everyone loves her, and she's so good. She's insanely funny in this movie. She's incredible.
Well, she's funny on Instagram, and that's why I was like, because she had this little thing about her wanting to be Spider-Woman and trying to figure out how to do that. And I was just listening to her talk, and I was like, she's watchable. Like, it feels like I can listen to her talk a lot. So when I saw her in the movie, I was like, fuck yeah, like, amazing. She's in a movie.
You should have her on the podcast because she's super funny and
actually I could.
She improv'd a lot too. I mean, everyone. I should take no credit for the script. Everyone was improv and everyone did a great job.
Yeah. Did you have because normally with improvs you have I mean, this is from what I know. I've never done this, but you have a list of things for them to say, right? And then because it seems like you had that with in the car with Pompano Mike, where he's just listing off drugs.
Yep. I was actually in the back of the limo with the list, and I was reading it from behind the thing. But after a couple takes, they had it memorized, and then Pompano Mike just went wild, and he was doing his own. I think at one point he said, "My dick's in the mud" for one of the drugs, which is a classic blooper. But yeah, I was feeding them the lines, and there was 2 Pompano Mikes. Did you notice that?
Okay. I did notice that because at first I thought it was Rab himself, you know.
Mm-hmm. I wish from CKY.
From CKY,
yes.
But I mean the guy that plays he's amazing.
So good. But Tony Cavallero from Righteous Gemstones, he's hilarious.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen that. But I gotta check it out.
You gotta watch it.
But there is a one small part where he turns and he looks different, and I remember thinking like, oh, like. The only thing that I would never thought that you would cast somebody else to do that little thing, but I figured that sometimes it's almost like getting catfished when you're like online dating. I don't know if you were in that game, how long you've been married, but
I missed the whole thing. I've been with my fiance 8 years, so it's still weird 8 years ago. Missed it all.
Well, so, but you're familiar with the concept of getting catfished, right? So,
of course.
But the way that it's ever happened to me is not as polar opposite as the photos to the show up. It's very tiny things that after I meet them, I go back and look at the photos and go, they do have that little thing. So when I saw the second Pompano Mike, I was like, oh, he just made a different face and like looks different for a second.
Right.
I didn't even notice until I looked at the IMDb and saw, wait, what the fuck? Maybe did I miss something? And then I realized it was just that one shot. It was one shot, right?
Well, the interesting thing is that we shot identical. We shot the entire thing with both guys because Jeremy's idea was we were going to flip it back and forth and see if people noticed. And what was happening when we did the test screenings pre-corona is that nobody noticed. So we'd be like, oh, what do you think of the two Pompano Mics? And people were just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Nobody noticed the entire back and forth?
And we were switching a lot, and people were just like, nope, I didn't notice it. And even now, most people, it's only one shot now, but most people don't notice that it's two different guys. But it wasn't a good idea in theory. My idea was always to make it one real Pompano Mic and like a baby or something, just so it's completely different if you want to see that people are tripping on drugs.
A baby. Like driving a car.
Yep, something crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's funny for the people that notice that it's a different actor for one shot.
So this is something that is this new for you to write alone? Because it seems like in your past you've written with people mostly. As far as a big project like this.
I've written a few features and that's always alone, but in TV, you write your script alone too. So like normally with Supermansion or What Would Diplo Do, you talk about it in the room and then you go off and you write the actual script by yourself.
Right.
So I'm used to doing it solo, but it's always helpful to have, like on this, Jeremy had a bunch of ideas, Vince had a bunch of ideas, so it's not really, I'm not doing it totally solo. You always have input. But
you did the original idea. Actually, maybe this is a better question. How did it come to Hulu? Did Hulu hit you up and go, hey, do you have any ideas? Like,
so I was running this site called Weekend Scripts where I would write scripts in a weekend and post them online.
Yep.
So one of them was called Fast 9, The Fast and the Fuhrer, where the Fast and Furious team go back to race Hitler.
All right.
And obviously I can't get that made, but I just put it on the internet in 2016. And then Paul Scheer found it, and he did a big live read where Nick Kroll played Hitler, Lance Reddick played Tyrese, Mantzoukas played Vin Diesel. It was amazing. And then I got a manager from that, and then I was like, well,
you were completely unrepped before Paul Scheer found it.
Totally. He found it on Twitter and was like, you want to do a live read? He didn't even know who I was. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
And this is 2016. This isn't like Human Giant Paul Scheer. This is like
This is big Paul Scheer,
This is big Paul Scheer.
It's crazy, and I always tell him, like, I could have had a stutter, and you just let me read the action lines in front of 500 people. You had no idea. So very kind. He set everything up and didn't ask me to do anything. It was awesome. And then from there I was like, well, I should try to write one of these scripts that I could get made. So I saw the Purge trailer and was like, well, what about the Binge? And then I just wrote it on my own. I didn't even see the Purge. I just saw the trailer and then passed it around, and eventually.
Have you seen it now?
No, I still haven't seen it. I didn't want it to be a direct parody, so I didn't want to watch the scenes. I just knew the concept and locking the doors and what the world is all about. So
that's a really hard thing to deal with as a writer when you have something that's even influenced by the energy of another project.
Yeah.
So as a writer, how do you sort of balance that when do you let yourself completely copy it and then go, okay, let me scrap that and then let me just do this? Like if you are influenced by something else, I'm talking about other projects. How does that work when you're trying to not copy something but you want it to be as good?
It's so weird because I love parody movies. Like I love Airplane and Naked Gun and Scary Movie, but there's such a negativity towards it now because of all those weird epic movie and superhero movie and all those where people are like, oh, this isn't a serious art form, but I'm like, what? I love parody movies, so I try to balance it out where it's like, well, it's sort of a parody movie, but it also has its own story, but inevitably everyone's just like, it's the Binge, it's a parody of the Purge, so you just got to go with it. Just embrace it.
Speaking of parodies, we both made the same parody, but
okay.
But yours was the MySpace movie.
Yes.
Based off of Facebook.
Uh-huh.
which is great. Well, it was you playing just like the main guy, right?
Yep, that was me.
And what I did was there's an event called, Brandon Dermer knows about the event called Emo Night. I'm not sure if you're familiar.
I know about it. I'm a big Taking Back Sunday fan. They're from Long Island.
Oh, they are? Are you from Long Island?
Yep. I'm from Ronkonkoma.
Oh, all right. Well, at that event at Emo Night, they make intro videos. Well, I made the intro videos for years.
That's awesome.
And everyone was a parody. For some reason, that's just they had decided they're all going to be parodies. So we did Fight Club, we did just Wes Anderson in general, and then we did one of them was Social Network, but we made it Emo Night the movie. So it was about the rising success of Emo Night and how, but yeah, all the lines that you took from the trailer we took too. It was the same exact thing. So watching that, and like you also copy like some of the frames and stuff, but
is it up? Can I see your version of it?
Yeah, you can.
Is it online somewhere?
Yeah,
cool.
I can send it to you. It's. Just...
I went to a show. I think it was Taking Back Sunday and like Coheed and Cambria or something like 2 years ago. And the lead singer of Taking Back Sunday was so mad about Emo Night because they were calling it like Taking Back Emo or something like that.
It was Taking Back Tuesdays.
That's what it was. And he was like, we're not in the past. We're current. So I don't know why people are saying that we're like this throwback thing. And he was like arguing with the guys that were selling T-shirts there. It was a whole thing. I was like, I can't believe he's doing this in front of 20,000 people.
Oh, geez. Kind of embarrassing to...
Yeah, it was sad. Sad to see.
I mean, whether... Doesn't matter. I love their music still. Like
they are great.
It's weird that... it's also kind of weird that a lot of people in that genre will just always live in that genre, and maybe they're comfortable with that, but it is weird that it's seen as like a nostalgic thing because I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't see actual emo music being the big boom that it was before ever again.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
it would be hard to imagine, but I'll embrace it. I'm also very into Blink-182, so if they want to bring Tom DeLonge back, I'm into that too.
Do you think that he's going to come back because there's conspiracies?
I think so. I mean, he's reaching out on social media. He's talking to Mark.
Yeah.
There's going to be some sort of reunion. I know it. I feel it.
When you were listening to Blink as a kid, were you kind of like, because some people were divided on Mark, Tom, or Travis, like whichever one you liked. I always gravitated towards Tom. I thought he was the spirit of the band, and the others were perfectly there to assist the spirit of the band. So now that they're doing it with Matt, I'm kind of like, okay, I want that whiny Tom voice, though.
Yep. I've seen them with Matt maybe 3 times in concert because I'll just go if they're in LA, so I don't care. But it's just not the same. It feels like some karaoke version of Blink-182.
Oh,
Tom's voice is so distinct, and there's also no banter. You used to go to the show for the dick banter.
Oh, there's no
banter anymore.
Fuck, that was
tough.
That sucks. I actually did not know that. I'm a little sad that you just said that.
Yep. Well, I went to the Lil Wayne Blink-182 tour, which in 7th grade is my dream tour because I love them both.
Yeah.
And it sucked end to end. I was not happy with any of it.
What was the what is that? Were they performing together, or like one was opening, one was closing?
They did an entire tour together where Lil Wayne opened and then Blink-182 closed. And maybe they flopped night to night, but yeah, it was at one of the big theaters in LA.
Oh boy. I hope I mean I got really into, even recently now I've gotten into like I was really into Boxcar Racer, but I'm even more into Boxcar Racer now somehow.
Yeah.
I want to get a Atticus shirt. Like I feel like I want to live that shit again.
So I've been on the hunt. In I'd say 8th grade I had the Tom DeLonge Surf Green Stratocaster, which I sold for $400 because I just wanted the money in high school. And you can't get them now, and I cannot find one for less than $3,000 or $4,000.
Are you fucking serious?
If you can find one at all, they're all dented.
I had the black one with the pearl. It was the Tom DeLonge Stratocaster with
pearl
the
pick guard,
the Seymour, the 2 Seymour Duncan pickups, and I had that since I was like 15. And
do you still have it?
Well, no. But here's the thing. It's still in the family. I gave it to a friend
Okay.
because he's a musician and I believe in his music. And I was like, dude, this is a gift. Because when I moved from LA to New York, I was like, dude, here's a gift to you. I need you to start playing live shows. I want to see videos and I need you to have a guitar. So just take this guitar. And I gave it to him. And I recently have been like, I really fucking miss that guitar. So it's still in the family. I think I could ask for it back. But maybe I could buy him a new one and give it to him.
Every day I wake up, I'm not even kidding, every day, and I check eBay for a surf green Stratocaster, and they are gone. You can't even find one for any price, and if you do, it's dented up, and it's a nightmare. I'm living a nightmare.
What is the link between the surf green one and Tom? Because in my head, that's the color he plays.
Yes, that was like his official color because on all the tours he would mostly play the surf green one. And there was a few, he played the blue one from time to time, but green was like the DeLong color.
Yeah.
And I sold it for $400. Unbelievable.
Why did you sell it? You just needed money or what?
Yeah, it was high school. I was like, I'm not playing guitar. I'm going to get rid of this thing. I had no foresight that I would want to keep that guitar in the future. I don't know.
That is very sad. I'm very sad for both of us right now. A little bit more sad for you. Because I can probably get mine back.
I want to hear your opinion on this because there is one on eBay that has never been played.
By the way, Mark, Tom, and Travis show, he has the surf green one.
There it is. The best live album ever made.
Honestly, the banter.
It's so good.
The banter was half the entertainment of that album, Mark, Tom, and Travis show.
Yeah.
It was. I remember just being like, these guys are comedians. They're talented. They're popular. They're rad, dude. It was just they had it all. But
I was just like, I can't believe you can do this. They're just talking about their dick in front of 50,000 people. It's insane, and it changed everything for me.
That is fucking crazy when you realize an artist does something. They just do something that they're feeling in the moment, and then us, like as fans, as kids, like that are learning and things, we're like, well, you could do that. Like,
yeah,
there's things in skateboarding that I learned from people that are just like, you can do that. Like, you can just like pretend that you can do one wheel manuals, like different little things in life, not just skateboarding, but movies. Like Gus Van Sant. I think the first time I saw Elephant, it was like, have you seen Elephant?
Yeah.
It's if anyone hasn't seen it, it's a movie about Columbine, and it's the scenes are just kind of like full of air. There's like just a guy walking for a few minutes. It's just you're like, you can do that? Or like the first time I saw Waking Life, like these things sort of like really blow you open. But I interrupted you. You said you were looking for my opinion on something. There's a Tom DeLonge.
Oh yes. So there is one on eBay, and it's from the Honda Civic Tour that this guy won. It's never been played, and it's autographed by all three, Travis, Tom, and Mark, and it's $5,000. Now, do I go way above what the normal guitar is and pay the $5,000, and then I have an autographed one, or do I wait to get a normal priced one for maybe $2,000?
Well, it depends. How much did you make from the binge?
I mean, I mean, the real question is, will I ever be able to make another movie? So if I get a next one, then maybe I'll splurge for it. But who knows?
Yeah.
LA's not cheap.
I would. Here's the thing with a guitar like that: you don't touch it. That's an asset. That's an appreciating asset. You case it up and then you sell it, or you just keep it forever and it's a framed piece. It's art. I
don't play guitar anyway, so I should just keep
really?
it in. Yeah, I mean, I dabble every once in a while, but I'm awful.
Well, then my
once a
opinion
year, I'd say.
is that you should buy that fucking guitar.
All right.
What?
We could go halvesies on it. I'll send it to you half the year, and I'll take it for the back half of the year.
It's not a bad idea.
This is a good idea.
Wow.
We did it.
Yeah, I still have it in my head that he's going to come back to Blink, but I also have it in my head that one day Travis Barker's going to do a score to a movie that I do. He's going to it's going to be like Birdman.
That'll be awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've always had that idea that he could do a movie score because it takes a sensitive person, I feel like, to understand the ebbs and flows of a movie, right?
Yeah.
I think it's very
and
strange.
he does so many styles too. He can do across genres. He'd be great at it.
Yeah, and he's also a record producer. He does a lot of like rappers. He produces albums straight up. So we long little tangent there, but a needed one.
Worth
I think
it.
Definitely
we needed to get that out.
But so there's more things that I wanted to ask here about this movie. So like I love little details, and one little detail that first off, Godfrey, were you there with him?
Oh yeah, I was there on set. I think pretty much every day I was there. He was hilarious, obviously.
I feel like he's such a good. He just feels like. I feel like he never gets. I know this is wrong, but I feel like he never gets sad. Always good vibe guy,
Yeah.
and just like happy as fuck.
His line, "That's a damn good goat," is I've seen it 10,000 times. It makes me laugh every single time. He's so funny.
Yeah. But his wife in that scene has braces.
Yes.
Did you write that, or did she just show up with braces?
She showed up. It was not in the script, but I like it. It's a fun detail. It was not written though.
It's super fun, and I like when parents have braces for some reason.
All right, I'll remember that for my next thing. Parents with braces, people love it.
One of my friend's parents both decided to get braces, which is kind of cute, like his and hers braces when you're, 50, 60. And it's very jarring because you're used to seeing braces on a child. I'm not really going anywhere with this. I just like seeing braces on parents, and I thought it was such a good choice, and I wanted to say that I noticed.
Thank you. I wish it was a choice, but isn't it weird that braces have not come... the technology has not gone anywhere. It seems like you should be able to get an invisible brace now.
Well,
the Invisalign, they say, don't work as good as like the normal metal ones.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. It's good that they work, but here's where I'm at with that. Dentistry, okay, when I was 5 years old, you had to hold a fucking, like a plastic thing in the back of your throat, basically, and then they put a thing here and then take a x-ray.
Yeah.
I'm 33, I'll be 33 soon. It's been almost 30 years since that technology. Why the fuck do I have to put something in my mouth still?
I just did it last week. It's exactly the same. They put the like bulletproof vest on you so you don't get the X-ray, and it's crazy. It's advanced in no way.
What are they doing? Do they need money? Is that what's do they like?
This is an anti-dentist podcast now, and I want to have a third person come on that could defend dentistry. I'm going to tear them apart.
2 out of 3 filmmakers hate dentistry.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's the title.
That's the whole thing my whole reason behind not going to a dentist is the X-rays are so uncomfortable, and the fact that the fucking lady has to leave the room.
Something's up. Something's up.
I'm in the room. Why did you leave?
Why
doesn't she
as a
just
kid,
put a
I went
vest
to
on?
a dentist. No one's got a vest but us. But we have the dentist I went to as a kid gave me laughing gas every time, even when I was getting like a cleaning. And I apparently no one else has that experience except for me. So I love the dentist because I was always getting the laughing gas.
Do you think he was like sucking your toes and stuff or something weird?
I never passed out, but I would have offered my toes up. He was a very nice man. But it was just like you're kind of loopy, and I was like, the dentist is great. I love this guy.
I'm a little scared of the laughing gas. So you're saying that it's good?
It's great. I mean, you're not like out of it. You don't pass out. You're just kind of like, oh, this is kind of messed up, and you don't feel anything. And then I remember one time I got up and walked into a wall, laughed about it, had a blast.
Is it like you're drunk? What does it feel like?
Yeah, it's just like you're a little like hazy. It's like you woke up from a nap and saw the funniest thing you've ever seen. So you're like giggling. It's like that scene in Biodome, which I'm sure you remember.
Oh yeah, that's
Pauly
right.
Shore is laughing his ass off.
Yeah, that's right. That was, that always scares me though. You know what I think of is, do you ever watch Bruce Lee movies when you're younger?
Mm-hmm.
There's a scene when it's an Enter the Dragon when he is passing by all the women that this man has captive.
Yep.
And there's one woman that's just standing there like this, like 60s hair, 60s tits, and she's naked, and she's like just looking blank, and he's trying to like look at her, and she just is like a fucking mannequin, like you.
Yep.
And then there's another lady that's just like laughing uncontrollably in the next room, and she's in a glass cage, and she's just laughing, and I always saw that and was like, I had this existential like come down after that where I was like, I can never touch drugs. That seems horrible. So I think in my head, laughing gas, I'm going to be that fucking naked 60s lady.
I guess if they crank it up, you could be the naked 60s lady. I don't know. But the interesting thing is that even though I wrote the Binge, and the next thing I wrote for Netflix is called Cocaine Hippos, I've never done drugs. Like, I've never, everyone's like, you must be a stoner, you must, like, do coke and all this shit. I've never touched, I mean, I've smoked weed, but that doesn't count. I've never tried the heavy stuff, so I'm pretty calm, but I only write about drugs for some reason.
Okay, two things. One, I don't know how this is going to sound to you. You don't look like you do drugs.
Oh, thank you. That sounds good. I don't want to look like that.
But you seem innocent a little bit, and that's, all right. So I got that out, right? So the next thing
Thank you.
is maybe you write about these things because you're very curious about them.
Could be.
It's like being bi-curious. You're like drug curious.
Yep, I'm high curious.
You're high curious.
I think that's
Is that
also
the next
why,
name
like,
of your fucking movie?
That's it. Well, I come up with the title first and work backwards. So high curious.
I did hear about that.
Yes, it's a very good title. I'm gonna write that down.
But because just as far as I've been taught, that is like definitely not the way to work. How come you?
No, of course not.
Yeah,
it's a stupid way to work.
Why do you? Actually, it seems like there would be a lot of benefits that you get to that because, first thing to do when I sit down and write a script, title page, I'm like, untitled, blah 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 script.
Yeah.
First thing, character's name, and I'm like, let me just think of the character's name, and I go and think of the character's name, and then I don't come back and write. That happens so often. And how do you do? So it must help to at least have the name.
It's always, I mean, what I've always been told, which is so stupid, but of course, this is how execs think when they're looking at stuff. It's like, what is the title? Can I sell this title? Will people know what this is immediately? And title really has a lot to do with it. And when we were sending out Cocaine Hippos, they were going to change it because they didn't know if they could have cocaine in the title. And I was like, even if it doesn't end up like this, let's send it out with Cocaine Hippos. Mm-hmm. And everyone who read it was like, this is a fucking crazy title. Like, we want to show this to our boss because the title's so crazy. So it works. I remember American Pie. Those guys had never sold anything, and they titled it, I think, Teen Sex Comedy That's Crazy and Can Be Made for Under $10 Million.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Everyone was like, oh, pass this around. It's a funny title. So it works. Okay,
so going along with your formula, right, I have, over the last, couple of years, you're bored a little bit. So I had been coming up with movies based off of a title.
Okay, smart.
Right? And so I'm gonna pitch you some and see what you think.
Yep.
You can rate them out of 5 stars.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. So there's a caveman, right? And he really wants to, mate with this cave woman. And he's about to go and approach her, and he's kind of nervous. But then the ice age happens. Whew. Frozen.
Okay.
But he's frozen so he can see her. So he's kind of frozen, and then he thaws out first. And then everything else is kind of thawed out but dead. He's just the only survivor. And he is sees her, and she's kind of just moving her eyes because she's frozen. So he has to go and try to, get her thawed out. And so he's getting this thing and stabbing at the ice and everything. And then finally gets her out and kind of just says, hi, I want to have sex with you and mate with you.
Uh-huh.
And she says, no, I'm not interested. And the movie's called Icebreaker.
Oh, that's good. I'd give it a 4.5.
All right. Wow.
It's a great title. It's a great concept. But where does it go? So then do they start a relationship?
Yeah. It'll, these are the...
It's a rom-com.
Yeah. These are...
A caveman rom-com, like Encino Man.
Analogical, what am I saying? Anthological stories, I would suppose. All right, so I'm going to give you 2 more. All right.
Okay.
There's a lizard. Wait. Yeah, there's a lizard, right? He's in high school. And it's prom. But he wants to go ask this lizard girl to prom. And but before prom, his tail gets chopped off. And he's so embarrassed. And he's telling his friends, I don't have a fucking tail. I can't go to prom. She's going to laugh at me. This is going to be horrible. I can't take her to prom without a tail. So they're like, okay. His friends are like, all right, just retrace your steps. Let's go find your tail. So they go searching around and try to find this main character's tail. And in the search, like in the journey, all the other lizards get laid, and he doesn't. And so then he comes back and then he kind of just tells the girl, like, I guess I don't have a tail. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. And she's like, they grow back. How do you not know that? And so the whole movie is called Chasing Tail.
I was gonna say, is it called Get Some Tail?
Yeah.
Which, both great. Alt title, if you want to use it, it's yours.
Yeah. So all right, this is the last one.
Okay.
A startlet, like a rising startlet has oh no, I'm sorry. No, this okay, so let me give you this one. An aging startlet, right? Okay. She's kind of on the back nine. Hollywood is sort of starting to not really appreciate her as they used to. And so she's having a hard time getting roles. But so she has this role that's coming up, but she has never had to drive in her life, so she doesn't have her license. So she ends up getting this role where she has to be like, she has to drive. She actually has to drive. They have to film her driving.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to go get her license. And this girl's super hot, right? So she goes to this driving school, and the driving instructor is super ugly, right? But as they have to like stay together, like and drive, and he has to teach her how to drive a bunch. They sort of fall for each other, okay? And that would be called 10 and 2.
That's good. Now that one I can get behind. That one could actually be a movie because you got the two-hander there, you got the love story. Yeah. That's a movie.
Yeah.
But the only thing you'd have to add is like somewhere along the line they kill a guy or they get into like a cop chase and they have to like Thelma and Louise it. And that's a movie.
Yeah.
You got to write that.
So these are little things that I write based off the title, which is why when I heard that you do the title first, I was like, my guy.
It just inspires so much when you have the title. One thing I never got to write, which because I don't think many people remember Memento, but I always wanted to write where a college version of that where a kid goes to a party, he gets Sharpied all over him, and then you call it Bromento, and he has to use the Sharpie on him to figure out what happened the night before. It's sort of like The Hangover. I guess it's just a complete ripoff of that, but one day.
Yeah, but if you film it like Nolan-esque, then it's not.
Maybe we can get Nolan to direct. Who knows? He's not that busy.
Yeah, no, he's kind of bored right now. I mean, can't do anything.
Yeah. No one cares about him.
So I want to get back into the binge a little bit because
sure.
There's a scene when in the beginning ish when they go and pick up what's his name? He's playing sort of like the Mexican character. I forget his name.
Oh, Andrew. Eduardo Franco is playing Andrew.
Yeah. So I've actually seen him. I forget exactly where, but I've seen him at the Comedy Store. Like I don't know what show he was on. But
he was on American Vandal, and he was in Booksmart.
I remember him in American Vandal, and actually, I don't know if you saw, but I had Tony Ascend on the show.
I saw. I went to college with Tony. I know him. He got me my manager. I know him very well.
Oh no shit! Okay.
Yeah, I just talked to him right before this. I said I was doing the show.
Oh no way! That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I saw him in that. I seen him at the store, but it's what I love about staying in show business or whatever is seeing people start getting shit. And he got in this movie. He did a fucking great job. And
he's so funny in this.
He's so great. I identify more with his character probably than any other character.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there was ever any other choice for Andrew. Like as soon as he auditioned, we were like, this is easily the guy, no question.
Yeah, for sure. So I have a question. When it first, his character is introduced, they go to his house because they need like wristbands, right?
Yep.
So there's a hostility that happens between him and his mom, which I'm half Mexican, and that just kind of is something that happens. There's some brute forcing love that comes out in these seemingly aggressive ways, sometimes passive aggressive, but as this movie shows, aggressive.
Yep.
And it ends in them yelling at each other and screaming, I love you. I love you too. Okay. And I'm just curious, is that something that you wrote into it because you noticed that from Mexican families, or how did that work for you as far as writing it?
I think that was added in later on where when I was working with Jeremy, he was just like, isn't it always awkward if you're at a friend's house and people like they're arguing with their parents? And then he was like, well, how can we take it to a 10? And what we landed on was them just screaming at each other in front of the other two guys. So it was just really about them yelling and making it awkward for the other guys.
Oh, okay.
Nothing specifically to Mexican families, but I'm glad to know it was authentic.
Well, I thought it was really good commentary on like the natural banter of a Mexican family, you know.
All right, well, let's go with that then.
Yeah, I'm Mexican, so
out.
I can say this, and
Yes.
then you just can agree. Yeah.
I'll just quote you on it.
Yeah, you can quote me on that. So I thought it was cool, but so the scene following it, and this goes into the question I was asking before about other scenes letting it influence you. I don't know if you did this on purpose, and I'm so happy to ask you this. That scene when he's trying to get the wristbands from his brother.
Yes.
Any parallel for the Boogie Nights scene?
Fully Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
But it was even more Boogie Nights in the script because we had this song. We didn't have a lot of money for music, so we picked this really obscure song where it was playing in the background and it was like, I'm playing with my baskets, or it was this really creepy song.
Yeah.
And we had Seb, the brother, singing it during the whole scene, like the Boogie Nights scene. And people, when we showed it at test screenings, people were like, what the fuck is this? Why is this brother so weird? He's singing this song. And I thought it was awesome because the kids look so uncomfortable.
Wait, so the test screening, what you shot him singing, and then you shot two versions of it?
Yeah, we just cut around him singing the song and changed the song.
Really? Okay.
But there was a song like throughout, and he had an earwig in, so he could sing the song along with it in the scene. And there is that version somewhere, which I think is awesome, but people were just like, this is too weird for me. I can't do this.
How does it work with, because I would love to see these scenes that you're mentioning that aren't in the movie. Because before it was like, you got the DVD, and then there was a special menu.
I know.
And you got all those different things. Does that not exist now?
I think it's dead. Like, I always say, I wish I could have a DVD. Who knows what's going to happen to Hulu in 20 years? Will this just disappear?
They didn't even send you they didn't send you?
No. I mean, maybe I can ask, but I have not. Like, I wish I could have the box like the old days and some sort of cover. But no,
did they send you a fucking
nothing.
poster or something?
Nothing.
You're just the writer. That's it. That's all you have.
Yeah. They wouldn't send me the beer helmet. They sent out like these Binge. I have one over here. Binge beer helmets for like influencers, and I was like, "Hey, can I get one of those kits?" And they were like, "You don't really have the numbers for that." But eventually they did when I asked twice.
The numbers.
Let me get this thing. Switch this hat off here. Oh, here we go. It came with 4 PBRs. Look at
Holy
this thing.
shit.
I mean, if I'm going to get anything from this movie, it should be this beer helmet.
Yeah, absolutely. Or the fake, or the gator.
Oh yeah, that gator was great. There was a real gator and then there was a fake gator, and they were both equally fun.
That was okay. So there's okay. This is great. I have more questions. The musical number.
Yep.
Amazing. How do you go about writing a musical number like that?
I had never done it before. Jeremy was in the middle before this movie of writing a musical. So he's like, I know these guys. We should just write the lyrics and then they'll take it and make it catchy and good. So I wrote like a bunch of the stuff and then Jeremy added some stuff. And then we sent it to Matt Bowen and Chris Leonard, who made the music and scored it and made it catchy. And yeah, it turned. And the first version, I think, was 13 minutes or something. Mm-hmm. And I remember Jeremy called everyone at the high school. He was like, we got to listen to this. And like by minute 9, people were like, all right, well, this is a very long song. We should probably cut this down. And then the next version was like 7 minutes. And then the one in the movie is like 2.5, which is perfect. You don't want it more than that.
Oh, yeah, totally. Because it still felt long. It's still not long, but it felt like.
No, it's a full song. You can't go longer than that.
It felt like a full song because what happens when a musical hits. I mean, I feel like there's like randomly just like PTA stuff in there because this is like it was surprising as it was in Magnolia, where it just kind of happens and then you're like, oh, that's hilarious. Like,
yeah,
it's just gonna keep going, and it became more and more impressive because it was no longer just them singing in the street like, in the how it started.
Yeah,
it becomes a whole dance and a choreographed thing. And you just go, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and then you start to get with it, and then it ends. But I felt like it's perfectly hit the impressive point, and then just like ended, which was like great.
It's funny because like it's just so weird to just plop a musical in the middle of the movie, and like some of the reviews are like, yeah, it's like a typical teen comedy, nothing new here, and it's like we have a musical, we have Vince Vaughn beating up children, we have all this crazy shit. That Scarface scene at the end is so insane. It's like, how is this a typical teen comedy? That's crazy to say.
You know what? Have you seen Climax, Gaspar Noé's movie?
Nope.
Well, so check it out. The beginning is like a big dance number, and you're kind of like, okay. And then it just goes and goes and goes, and the camera work gets crazier, and the dancing gets crazier, and the acting gets crazier, and then you're like, okay, it's done. And then it goes into a scene. Still same shot. Then it just goes into a like 5-minute scene after that, and you're like, what? I don't know if people even like pay attention to that, but you watching it, I think you would be interested in that. But
when did it come out? Is that a new movie or is it older?
It's like 2017 or 18.
All right, I'll tune in.
It's a good. I think you can. It's streamable somewhere, but so the musical number, and so I'm curious about we were talking about the gator.
Yeah.
So there's a part when, what does he do? He puts a donut or a bagel on his head?
Donut. Yeah.
Right? That's the whole challenge, is he has to win one of the challenges is he has to put a donut on a gator's head.
Yep.
And so he does it, but after that he throws his arms back and goes like this sort of Bethesda fountain type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Was that you? Who was that?
No. That was him. That was all Vince.
God damn, that made me laugh so loud. It was like, it was great.
He's so funny, and he put that donut on the alligator's head, on the real alligator. Like, he was like going for it. That was the real shot. He's like, I don't want to do it with the fake one. It looks fake. Let's do it with the real one. And he did it. It was crazy. It was like, this could be the end of Vince Vaughn. Who knows?
Oh yeah, imagine, dude. Vince Vaughn dies by gator on set of new movie.
I mean, would have been great publicity, but sad to lose an icon.
What like, when it comes to hanging out with Vince Vaughn, did you see, or even being on set in this party scene, did you feel remnants of what it would have been like to party with him in your early 20s, single?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it just
that's
seemed
what this movie
like
is.
It would have been awesome. Yeah. I mean, Jeremy, when he was writing the breakup, lived with Vince Vaughn. So I heard a bunch of stories about when they were living together. But, like, his life, we would be hanging out in the hotel, and every time there would be, like, a bridal party that would come up and be like, hey, can you come crash my wedding? Like, he must be hearing that 80,000 times a day. It's crazy. And especially in Syracuse, they're not getting a ton of celebrities. So when you walk in with Vince Vaughn, like, we went to the movies, they didn't even check our tickets because they were just like, holy shit, like, it's a giant celebrity here. It was wild.
They just said,
walking
come
into
right
places. Yeah, they were just like, okay, come on. It was. I mean, we had tickets, so we did pay.
It's weird because America, definitely, our royalty is A-listers.
Yeah.
You know, like, you kind of just get the key to the country if you're Brad Pitt or Will Smith.
We went to a bar one night and they just kept bringing out platters of appetizers. It was like we already eaten, and they were just like, all right, here's some clams for you, some baked clams. We're like, we don't need 50 baked clams, but everyone is so nice to you when you're famous. It's great.
He seems like
everyone in Syracuse is nice anyway. He does. He loves to eat. And it was just very cool. Very cool experience.
It's so rad, dude. I love details. It's like one of my favorite things about film because there's so many departments. Mm-hmm. And so as you notice, like, I've asked you some details that were just like specific to what I've noticed. And one of the things that I really liked was at the end, after when he is going to prom with the girl, he is wearing this beautiful suit, kind of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air suit.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask you again, is that written?
That, I feel like that was all costumes. That was not my, I don't remember. I definitely put they're going to prom in suits, but nothing like specific.
Gotcha.
The costume girl, Sam, had like all these ideas about how in 2032, that's when the movie takes place, that it'll be cycle back and be like early 2000s style. Mm-hmm. So that's why all the outfits are sort of like 2002, like that sort of shirt and pants style. And
Yeah.
I mean, I know nothing about it, but it seemed like a great idea to me. I was totally on board.
Dude, it was a great idea, and especially the thing about like being in the future, because it's not. I mean, apparently, from what I hear, the way that trends go is every 20 years something comes back.
Mm-hmm.
That thing from 20 years ago comes back. So like right now, what happened like Jinko jeans? Like, are people doing that? Are they really doing that though?
I would definitely wear Jinkos again. I think it's time for a comeback.
No, but for real.
No, I don't. I've never seen anyone wear Jinkos since 2000.
But I will say that there is a 90s thing coming back. There is like the big fucking shoes. You know what I mean? Like the baggier pants. Shit, I'm even wearing like the cropped ass shit. These.
Oh, look at those.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a 25-year thing, because maybe it's 95 that people are starting to imitate. Let's say 25 years.
Let's just say that. All right, 25 years.
We know about trends. We know style. We can say whatever we want.
You know, you remember the movie Her, right?
Yep.
They're the only thing they really did was made male men wear pants super high.
Mm-hmm.
Which was like, what a nice little detail to go, that's fucking weird, but for us to right now be wearing cropped ass pants, like that's fucking weird. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's a good detail. And but yeah, I mean, we're in 2032 in this movie, and we didn't have the money to do like future cars or anything, so we're like, I guess let's go back in style on the shirts, and that was basically it. But it's not that far in the future.
But I imagine that there's a draft, or maybe I'm wrong, of you writing this a little bit more in the future, or did you always have it in mind to be 2032?
There was a draft where it was more in the future, but I was always very conscious of like, I've never made a movie before. If anyone's going to make this, I can't write back to the future. I need to keep the budget pretty far down, so I never put in like flying cars or like crazy technology. I always kept it sort of base level.
But as a writer, do you feel like that's kind of like that kind of neuters you to not just let your mind go and then bring it back later, or do you always keep that in mind and write for that?
I'm always, now probably less than I was, but I was always pretty conscious of like, is anyone actually going to make this? I mean, I guess I shouldn't have been as much, but really where I go wild is like the jokes and the humor, and then every time anyone reads a draft, they're like, this is funny, this is too crazy, like no one's going to do these jokes, you need to add more heart and take out some of the dick jokes. So I'm usually being neutered by humor more than anything else.
Neutered by humor meaning like they want you to take out humor?
Yeah, I always get the note like, you're putting a joke on a joke. Like I really always go for like the airplane style, like here's a joke, in the background there's a visual joke, and people are just like, people don't want that. They want like something grounded and straightforward. So I'm always trying to ground things more after my first draft.
So is there a world where you would love to write something and then also direct it, so you can fill in all the details and really make it however you want to do, like without a studio?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to direct at some point in the future, but it's just, I mean, watching Jeremy do it on this one, it's so hard. I mean, it's really, you don't sleep, you're running around all day, every detail needs to come from you. It's a crazy job, and it seems impossible, but people do it.
Because I would love to see that from a mind of yours.
Oh, thank you. I mean, even this feels like the most raw version. Like, it'll never be like this again, I don't think. We had no oversight, really. I mean, nobody was really telling Jeremy, you can't do that, you can't do this. It was really him deciding, because we were in Syracuse. There was no one to oversee us. It's not like we were shooting on a lot in Culver City.
So Hulu is kind of just like backseat. You guys got it, right?
Yeah. I think they trusted Jeremy, whether that's right or wrong, and they were just like, yeah, go for it. I mean, they didn't really have too many notes, so it was pretty awesome working with them.
Okay, well, we're rounding out about an hour. We're coming towards the end here, but I wanted to do one more thing, because we were talking about writing based off of the title, and that's how Face-to-Face Time came to be. I was FaceTiming with so many people. I was somewhat lonely because I couldn't hang out. I just moved to New York, and all my friends are in LA. So I was FaceTiming with people every day, and I had this idea, if I just can like put the phone somewhere and like talk to it, it would feel like I'm talking to a person. And I came up with the phrase face-to-face time, and off of that I built entirely what this is today. So
And it looks awesome. I remember seeing the Tony one, and I was like, "This looks so fucking cool. Why hasn't anyone thought of this before?" It looks great.
Cool. Thank you so much. So I'm curious, if you were to take the phrase, the title, face to FaceTime, I'm gonna put you on the spot. See if you can give me a movie pitch off the top, what that would be. Take your time, and let me know what you think that would be. Like, what could that be?
My first instinct is to do something like Face Off with it, where there's a person and they have maybe some sort of her type machine that's on the FaceTime that they interact with, like Alexa, and then at some point the brains get switched, and now the person's on the iPad and the Alexa's gone into the human brain.
Whoa.
And you got a 2020 version of Face Off. That's what I want to do. And let's just make that. Why not? It's good enough.
Whoa, that's actually okay. Because I was watching this thing this morning where Elon Musk is doing this Neuralink thing
with the pig. I was reading about this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that would be probably 2032 also.
Yeah, that's my year.
Yeah, it's your year. And it would be me or whoever's playing me with the fucking Neuralink thing, and then somehow it gets hacked, right?
Yep.
You could play the hacker. And then just, but you're like one of those sort of hackers that is a mom's basement type of hacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're lazy about your hacking, but you're doing it. But somehow you hack into this and switch our shit.
Yep.
And now
I'm living your life, and you got to be the basement hacker in the computer.
Oh no, I was talking about I'm now the Alexa thing.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So then that's where the switch happens, and then I, as the mannequin, have to go try to find you to switch us back.
This is a genuinely good idea. I think this could work.
Yeah?
It's time to get writing.
Woo! So actually, that was what I wanted to ask you about last, which is actually kind of a good idea.
Yep.
But now that we're talking about that, I'm really honestly inspired by the fact that you have something called Weekend Scripts. You force yourself every weekend. Are you still doing it?
Less so now that people are actually paying me to write scripts, but I did do a Snyder cut of the Justice League weekend script where it opens on Batman with a belt around his neck while he's masturbating, and then he fights Alfred. So great stuff.
That's the shit.
I am still doing it, just not that often. If something hits me, I'll do it, but not on a permanent schedule.
And but the idea behind that was like, you go to the gym to keep your muscles tight or whatever. You do weekend scripts to keep your writing tight.
Yeah, and then mostly it was just nobody cares about your shit. Like, no one was reading my scripts before that, and I was like, if I write something in a weekend that's about a news story that came out on Friday, like the Fire Festival, and I put the script out on Monday, people are going to be like, how is there a fucking movie script about this? The story broke on Friday, and every time that worked, because people were just like, there's a script about this, it came out 2 days ago. Most people can't write a script in 2 days, and not that my scripts are that good, but I have the volume to put it out in 2 days. Yeah. So that's impresses people.
Well, it's very cool. It's very inspiring. And
thank you.
Writing is, I don't even know if you know, but I'm writer, director, editor. But
Sure.
The thing I get to do most is edit and write. And it's really fun to do all of them. It's weird. I kind of prefer to just do all of it because I just genuinely love doing all of it.
And having the control is just nice. To be a part of every process is a great thing.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like saying I'm gonna go cook food, but all you did is buy it. Yeah. And then someone else does everything else and seasons it and plates it, and it's like, did you cook that, or like? Yeah. So I love doing every part, but yeah, it's super inspiring to know that you had that there. And I'm going to send you a text right now and show you what I wrote on your shirt here.
Thank you.
I gave you a little custom shirt, as I do all my guests. While I'm taking a photo, why don't you bring your face closer and give me... Well, we will still want to see the helmet. But yeah, let's just have you... There you go.
Can you see that?
Oh. I can see that, yes. All right.
Great.
3, 2, 1. One more. And just go head up. All right, cool. I just sent you a couple photos.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do? Shout out to 1 Second Every Day. It's an app, and what you do is you shoot 1 second a day, and at the end of the year, you have 365 seconds and it wraps up your year. I had a friend that inspired me to do it because he was going through a breakup, and you can see him go from sad to happy. It was very cool to see. So I was like, wow, that's poetic. So this year is going to be Corona shit and a lot of different things. But I really enjoyed our interview. I'm going to just get 1 second right here. Just go ahead and wave. And that's the second.
That was good. That was a good second.
Jordan, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I love the movie. I can't wait for more things to come out.
Thank you.
I hope that one day we can get a beer or just hang out somehow. And
absolutely.
If
you hear about a Tom DeLonge guitar anywhere, let me know. And if we want to split one, I'm willing to do that too.
That would be fucking awesome. I need to. You know what? After this, I'm gonna actually go text my friend and be like, "Can I buy a guitar and you send me mine?"
Yep, I think that's the right move. He better not look that guitar up because he's gonna see he can get like $2,000.
I did not know that until you just said that.
Yep.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.
Great time. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Thank you for watching that episode of Face to Face Time. Go watch the Binge. Fucking dating apps. Too many dating apps. Go watch the Binge on Hulu. It's out now, starring Vince Vaughn. There's a lot of great actors in it. It's a great movie. It's hilarious. It's entertaining. It's a great summer coming of age movie. One of those that you probably would have went on a date to go see if there were movie theaters, but movie theaters all exploded. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel just go Face to Face Time, and then on Instagram at Face to Face Time. The thing that I think I should ask mostly though is go to Apple Podcasts and rate and review. And if you want to do anything below 5 stars, instead of doing that, go fuck yourself. But if you do want to do 5 stars, do 5 stars. And I'll suck your dick. Anyway, thanks for watching. My name's John Ryan. Hope you enjoyed. Watch The Binge on Hulu. Have a great day.